Hey, I don't know why did this sound so
You know what? I have a saying,
people
people trying to run on the airplanes, and I said, you're hurrying up to go nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna change. You can't do it.
So I'd say make a policy.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we'll start in 2 minutes. A few more persons said they are there. So 2 more minutes, please, and then we could go. It won't be too long.
No, not yet.
I'll fight it. When you come. Did we not record? Did we record DVD or something? Alright, we're gonna stop. Let me get rid of it. We stop. You just saw this thing, but we're gonna record it.
I'm not sure this next. There's a couple positions. So
tell it's a very quiet group.
Yes, now they're waiting for the
Give it time.
Ready? Yeah. President of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Football Federation, Mr. Otashi Spring. Head coach of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Nancy Heath, Mr. Michael Finney. First Vice President of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Football Federation, Mr. Dominic Stowe. Other members of the executive, other members of the technical team, media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Before we go into the program, I would like, normally the president always asks us to start everything with a word of prayer, so I will lead us in a word of prayer, and then it will be followed by our national anthem. Heavenly Father, indeed we want to thank you because you are great, you are mighty, you are awesome. We want to thank you for today. We want to thank you for life. We ask that you be with us as we go through this press conference, that you will guide our thoughts, and that all will be said and done in decency and in order. In Jesus' name, amen. So we're going to listen to the national anthem of St. Vincent. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome you this morning to introduce our new head coach for the senior men's team, Nancy Heath, and also the new coach have some responsibility and oversight to the U20 men. Welcome to the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Football Federation conference room, and it is my pleasure to welcome you and thanks for being here. Today marks an important milestone in the history of St. Vincent and the Grenadines Football Federation, and we must at this present moment take an opportunity or some time to thank our former head coach, Mr. Ezra Hendrickson, for the work he would have done in ensuring that we are where we are today as we welcome new vision, new direction, and new leadership. At this present moment, I would like to call on the president of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Football Federation, Mr. Otashi Spring, to bring remarks, and then we will follow. Thank you very much, Mr. Spring.
Thank you very much. Mr. General Secretary. First, Vice President, Mr. Dominic Stowe, with oversight responsibilities of all technical matters, technical department, within the governance ranks. Mr. Michael Finney, newly appointed head coach or lead over senior men Department and Development Program, Mr. General Secretary Peter Edward, other members of the Secretariat, other members of the Senior Men Technical Department, members of the media, and those who are following on the respective social media platform. A pleasant morning. On behalf of the Executive Council of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Football Federation, I am pleased to announce an important transition in our senior men's program. Today we welcome Mr. Michael Fenley as the new head of the senior men's department for the next 24 months. Mr. Fenley brings valuable experience in coaching, players development, and football management. We are confident in his expertise, his will, which will help strengthen our program and support the continued growth of our national team. This appointment reflects our commitment to improve the structure, the standard, the competitiveness of our senior men's football. He will work closely with our technical team, our coaches, club, and other stakeholders to advance clear goals outlined over the next 2 years. This is not just merely a change in personnel, but a step forward in building on our foundation. And it brings me to a next profound subject, in that Mr. Fenley will be taking over, or has taken over, from our dear friend and comrade in Mr. Ezra Hendrickson. And I want to take this opportunity to express publicly how grateful we would have been for his tenure, how admirable and appreciative that we are for the work that he would have done, for the leadership that he would have shown in advancing our program. We are grateful and we say thank you. As we begin this new chapter, our federation remains focused on continuity, collaboration, and development. Mr. Fenley will be responsible for leading the senior men's department and working within our existing technical structure to ensure effectivity, coordination across all areas. Now, we would have heard earlier from the General Secretary as he outlined the conceptualization or the definition or the composition of what is meant when we talk about the senior men department. Now, our administration, from the inception of taking office, we have been clear on our agenda. We have been firm on our mandate. And that is to say that it is nothing that is being made up as we push forward. And it is to say that it is nothing that we are guessing. We are working with a strategic plan. We are working with a clear mandate, and what is happening here is part and parcel of that. We have made it crystal clear from the inception that we want to have in a mission where we go to recapture our footballing heritage. Within our legacy, at one point in time, we were ranked 73rd in the world. And today, we are quite a distance away from that. This administration embraced that understanding to the extent where we stand firm with many others within our footballing community to believe that indeed we are a footballing nation, to believe that indeed we have a footballing legacy. However, the reality today does not give much homage to that. And so we are on a mission to reclaim that. In doing so, it is important that we are real with the situation that we are in. And that is to say that we have to be responsible, and we have to be honest, we have to be bold, and we have to be brave when we're making our decisions. When we came in, we engaged a coach of a particular pedigree, because we believe that if you mean business, you have to basically fashion yourself and put yourself in a position that depicts that. And so we engage a professional coach. Unfortunately, the relationship cut a little bit shorter than anticipated or expected. And so we were left to find a replacement. With that drive and that strategic understanding, that have now brought us to a point where we would have been able to identify a prospect that is maybe equal in quality, or even a fraction a bit more. It is important to understand that those things don't come cheap either. But we're not here to fool anybody. We mean business. Real business. And so we are at an important juncture here where our council have stuck to the mandate that it campaigned on, stuck to the mandate that would have been sold to its affiliates, to the fans, to the players out there who aspire to be a part of our national team program. And so we issue a mandate to the Secretariat to go out and find us a coach of this particular quality. And I must say special thanks to the GS and his team. It would have been a lengthy process, because if we have to be honest, Ezra left some big shoe to be filled. And so you have to get somebody who could fit that shoe and who could carry it far. And that is why we're here. I want to add that we had some local coaches that would have been among the pool who vying for the job. Unfortunately, fell short because you could not have met the threshold in terms of qualifications. And it is key, and that is why we are even pushing further with our coaches education initiative, so that we could ensure that our coaches are adequately qualified. Because this is where we're going with the football, and it's not in St. Vincent, it's what is happening globally. Our goal remained clear: to build a stronger and more organized and a more competitive senior men's program that represents St. Vincent and the Grenadines with pride. To Michael, we welcome you. We look forward to working with you and wish you every success. To our players, our coaches, our clubs, our supporters, we encourage your full support of this transition. Our progress depends on unity and shared purpose. Today marks both appreciation for the past and confidence in the future. Once again, we thank Mr. Ezra Hendrickson for his service and welcome Mr. Michael Fenley to his new role. Let us continue to build, develop, and believe in Vincentian football. Thank you, and may God bless St. Vincent and the Grenadines Football Federation and our national teams.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to pause to thank those persons who is viewing on our different social media platforms, but I would like to encourage you. We have a U14 match at 1:30 today. U14 boys, they will be playing a friendly against Grenada. The Grenada U14 boys are here. Actually, they are preparing for the CFU U14 series in the Dominican Republic. So we have two friendlies today and tomorrow at the Brighton playing field. Today starts at 1:30. So if you're viewing or you hear me, please show some support to our youngsters. At this present moment, I would like to say just a few words on behalf of Mr. Michael Finley. He asked me not to be long, and he doesn't want it to be about him. He said that time will show what his name stands for. So I was going through a short bio that he gave me, and I saw he was the former head coach of Bermuda senior men's national team. He currently a member of the FIFA Technical Development Committee. That's a big shoe. He's currently a member of the FIFA Technical Expert Group supporting the TDS Talent Development Scheme. He previously was the senior coach for Grenada men's team and the U23 national team. He also was the director of football development in Canada Premier League. I'm trying to go through it. He said I should not do too much about him, but I would like you to know who he is, and he will tell us a little more about himself. Previously also, he was the U23 Canadian men's head coach and the U15 youth head coach. He has a UEFA Pro license, and he's also A license and a Canadian A license. So you could see in terms of coaching, he's very knowledgeable and experienced. He'll tell you a little more about him. He used to be previously the director of football development in BC Soccer and director of CSA National Training Center West. I think that's in Canada. He is from Canada, Vancouver. We recently attended our Congress, FIFA Congress there, and I know my first vice president speaks about Vancouver very well. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome, to address us, But before that, we would like to make a presentation to him, and then he will talk to us, and then after we'll take some questions. Praise. Yeah. In front. Yeah.
My turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning to everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and be present at this event. I first of all would like to thank President Spring, his executive, the staff, and the entire ecosystem of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Football Association. It is an honor that has been bestowed upon me to become this country's next head coach. I do not take that lightly, and I would like to also reiterate what the President, Peter, and everyone has said, is it's very important for us to applaud and celebrate the previous leadership, administration, and coaching of our men's national team. Football is secular. It happens in different phases. And in each of those phases, there's very positive things that are achieved in that process. So when you talk about our previous coach, and Ezra, who I know is a good man, and the staff that he brought along with him, which I now inherit, which I'm very excited about, I thank him for that. Because you must respect the process, and you must respect the things that have been achieved to get us to this point, where I think, as the President just said, and his executive support, this is a new era for football, not just in the CONCACAF region, but globally. The opportunities that present to ourselves as a football nation are endless now due to the competition platform that has been established specifically by the leadership within CONCACAF. And it gives me a great pleasure in thanking everybody in identifying me as the next lead of your men's senior national team. I also would like to say to all of the players, I am excited about getting together with you very soon. I'm excited about the competition platform and the schedule that is being rolled out very quickly in our Nations League competition, which will hopefully lead us to what we consider to be our ultimate goal, and that is qualification for the 2027 Gold Cup. I've said it on numerous occasions, we talked about it last night. Within this region, a Gold Cup is like a World Cup. It is the first step to success and greatness when it comes to football. And this will be our primary goal in the first period and phase of the development of the senior men's team and also the U20 team. I also would like to say to the staff that I have inherited, I'm extremely excited to stand next to you in the technical area, to stand next to you on the field, and gain your knowledge, gain your vision, and your input as I educate myself about the people, the players, and the culture of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which I've always found to be exciting. And when they approached me about this job, I remembered the number of times that I have been here with other teams, and I've always respected the fight and the commitment that the players have shown in the game. So this excites me greatly. Final word, I want to make sure everybody understands, I am not Michael Finley, the cricketer. I know you may think this, so I don't want any confusion. I've met Mr. Finley before when I was here last time as the head coach of Bermuda. I found it exciting to know that you've already named a stand after me in the stadium, so you must think I'm going to do a good job. No, but there's something about the idea of sharing the name with another great sportsman of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and I think it shows a future that is positive, and I look forward to embracing everybody in this process. So what I'd like to do, I'm happy to take questions and we can sit down. But once again, thank you so much, both to the President, the Executive, and the entire Football Association. Thank you.
Thank you you very much. We will now open for questions. I will also check online if we have any online questions. So we open for questions from the media now. We can use this mic or yeah, come.
Malenbach Agency for Public Information. Congratulations on your appointment.
Thank you.
So, Coach Finley, can you say what's your vision for the senior men's national team?
Well, it's interesting because, you know, the vision has to be not just about our football team. I'm a strong believer that national teams program has two different roles. That one is very football specific, which I'll speak to in a moment. But I want to make it very clear that one of the great challenges within CONCACAF, within the CFU, and with a number of our neighboring countries is the idea of structure, the idea of community, and the idea of creating legacy so the next generation of players have something to aspire to. So part of my vision is to create a culture around this team, build on the previous successes that we've had, but take it to the next level. And I think what the president has identified is he used the word serious business. Football has become a very serious business, and you have to make serious decisions and take serious steps. And so from that basis, it's about respect, it's about community, and it's about making sure that we create good people that our youth can aspire to within this nation and the football ecosystem. As it relates to the football team, people ask on numerous occasions about philosophy. I believe it's a bit of an overused word because I think specifically philosophy for me is winning. We need to win. This country has not been to a World Cup in 30 years. That is too long. And so the number one priority will be to set a goal to be at that event in 2027. However, I want to make it very clear to everybody that road may be pathed with a lot of bumps and bruises, and there's a process to victory. So it'll be about teaching, it'll be about playing what I consider to be not just a attractive brand of football, but an appropriate brand of football, which is demanded at the international level. I don't go into details about numbers and things like that because I think it comes down to applying a tactical vision based on the staff that we have, playing staff that we have, and that'll slowly but surely come out in our processes. But certainly, if you're asking me what we want to achieve, we want to achieve greatness. And greatness is being at the Gold Cup in 2027. We can't hide from that.
Also, can you tell us some of your immediate priorities within the first couple of months of the job?
Yeah. The first and foremost, the first priority is already taking place, and that is I'm here. We spent yesterday visiting with the entire staff that both is within the Football Association, but now the new technical staff and the support staff. We sat yesterday and we talked about exactly what we want to do in the first phase. With that completion, I then met with the executive and the team and the leadership group to give them the same information. Our next step is for me to be reaching out to the players, which will happen immediately after that. I have not talked to any of the players since my appointment. I didn't feel at that point it was appropriate until we were in this position and you could see exactly what St. Vincent and the Grenadines is looking to achieve. So now I'll be reaching out here in the next day or so, and we'll be gathering our long list of players, both domestically based and also foreign based, so they get an idea of what the next steps are. Yep, sure. What our next steps are, which will be both a domestic preparation program and also a remote education program with the players that are not existing on the island, which then moves us towards our first window in the Nations League, which is September 21st in the New Orleans. The other priority at this moment in time is for me to work very closely with the technical staff to get a really good understanding of the culture, the player profile, how we are recruiting and how we are IDing our players. Because one of the most, I think, positive things that is going to happen for this football association is that there is a new set of eyes that is looking at the players. So every player that exists, whether they exist here within the football league of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, or they're playing elsewhere in the world, and I mean globally, because the game is now global, every one of them are now on the same platform. They're all coming into the same situation. I now will bring new eyes to that, but I will also need the assistance and the direction of the staff, who I believe is probably the most important part of my appointment at this moment in time. Because I'm also here to help what the president mentioned, which is coach development. At the end of the day, my appointment here is very important because you need a leader of your senior team. But I can tell you the work that is being done behind the scenes that maybe many people don't see in the coaching development side of this game for this country is absolutely the most important project you can ever take. Because at the end of the day, I am here now, but we know in football that sometimes that doesn't last very long. We need to work and we need to grow from an organic position. We need to find the St. Vincent and the Grenadines answer. It's not just Michael Finley's answer. So it'll be that idea of community and shared vision and action.
And finally, we have a lot of passionate fans, football fans here in St. Vincent. Any message you would like to send to them in the results of returning to greater success in the sport?
What is very important, and I said to our staff yesterday, that when a player pulls on the jersey of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines, he is just not pulling on the jersey for himself. He is pulling on the jersey for his family. He is pulling on the jersey for his friends. He is pulling on the jersey for his community. Most importantly, though, he's pulling on the jersey for 100,000 plus people to populate St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So what I can tell you as fans is, I promise you that we will give our best effort. This team will be committed. This team will set a standard. There will need to be patience, as always, but I understand your passion and I support it and I encourage it. And I look forward to interacting with you. But most importantly, I look forward to hopefully our players sort of delivering the results that you want. Because there's nothing more exciting for a nation than to play in a tournament like the Gold Cup. And so please continue your support, continue to demand upon us, because that's what football is. But what I can promise you is that we have a committed group. We have a group that want to deliver what you want, and that's success.
I have a question online. What are your views and opinion on your technical team? What are your views and opinion?
What I really liked yesterday when I met with the team was their engagement, their interest in wanting to be better. And as I say, football is secular. It happens in different phases. So they're entering a phase now where they have a new head coach that is also going to help them be better. And they showed a real interest in wanting to improve what is already here. And because, as I say, the profile of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines player is very specific. But when you identify a profile of a player, you also have to have a package behind it in terms of how they deliver their performances. And you only can do that through strong technical staffs. And so as we progress,
I'll get to know what their specialties are. I'll get to know each of them. Will have their own best practices. And I'm going to do my best to assist them to be better than they are today, because the ultimate goal is for everyone to be better every time we leave the pitch. But I'm excited about the staff. They were excited about the staff. And as I say, when the president first spoke to me about this position, he indicated he wanted to know exactly what my view was on what staff I would bring with me to St. Vincent and the Grenadine and the national team program. And I said to him, well, you're looking at him because I'm not bringing anybody. And there was a little bit of a pause, but at the end of the day, he understood what I meant, and that was the fact that if we do not engage with our local technical people, and if we do not look for, as I said, that organic success and growth within the Football Association and its coaching ecosystem, we are not going to have success long term as a football association. So that is why it's important to have staff like we have today. And as I say, I'm excited about it, and they seem to like me. So far, just like you seem to like me so far, but that doesn't, but yeah, no, the long answer, but the short answer is excited to work with them.
Any more questions? Go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Finley, welcome to St. Vincent and Grenadines.
Thank you.
Again, because you've been here a few times.
Yeah.
What do you make of St. Vincent football as opposed to your coaching philosophies? What do you think? Because they knew
Yeah. Well, as I said earlier, what was very interesting is when I looked at and the president had reached out. You know, I consider myself to be a coach who likes a project. I've worked within the CONCACAF region and specifically in and around the CFU for the vast majority of my career. And so when I heard of the interest, I started to think, okay, what is my view about St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the player? You know, what do they have? Where's the gaps? But my first thought was that the energy, the strength, the power, the athleticism, but most importantly, they say in Italian, it's called grinta, right? But here, it's just the fight, right? And what I like about that is the fact that if you're going to be successful in international football in this region, if you do not show up and are interested in the fight, you're not going to be very successful. What I also saw was a team that had what I would call the protagonist. They like to be on the front foot. They like to be in the attacking end of the pitch. They like to go quite direct, which I think the game today is definitely demanding. The areas that I feel that I can help and improve on is more about the organization of the team, the tempo and the rhythm in which they do display. And I think from that point of view, I think we have great potential, but it takes time. Because as you see over the previous results, there's moments in the game that this team is very, very successful and very dangerous. But there's also moments in the game where they let themselves down and they find themselves in a position where there's gaps and they're fighting to stay in it, and they're more reactionary and instead of being, as I say, the protagonist in that way. But very, very excited about what we have and including the youth that is coming through.
As everybody said that you have little big boots to fill, because based on the results of Mr. Hendrickson, how much is that playing on your psyche and in terms of your old preparation mode?
No, it doesn't really. I mean, you know, international football is, it can change very quickly, and you get used to that situation. That's why it's really important. I've said this on numerous occasions that, you know, you need to show respect for the previous without letting it haunt you. And I know that Ezra has an incredible reputation here in the St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He's a very well-known individual, good coach, experienced, and as I say, I applaud the work he's done. But this is now my team, and this is going to be the team of the St. Vincent and Grenadines Football Association going forward. So I don't really think about that. I'll learn from it, and that's why the staff is very important. But this is my team now, and you'll hold me responsible. You won't hold Ezra responsible anymore.
Any questions? Any more questions?
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let me first congratulate the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Football Federation on their new appointment, and congratulations to you, Mr. Finley.
Thank you.
I am also a graduate of the University of the West Indies FIFA CIS program, and I much appreciate your coming to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. First question to you, sir. We talk about a lot of development in terms of grassroots development. Mm-hmm. How much is your passion about, in developing early stages for players in the football arena?
Oh, absolutely essential. If we don't connect the levels of play within the Football Association, you can't gain long-term success. Just as I said, the president mentioned it. I'm a great believer and a great supporter of coach development. This is, and I'm going to say it again, everyone. I know we're all talking about the senior men's team and the successes we hope to have through Nations League, promotion, Gold Cup qualification, but coach development is an essential part and a priority for this football association. Not my specific role, but in terms of supporting that, 100%, as I will support any level within this ecosystem, which includes the club system here, because the coach development system is going to help the club system. The club system is going to develop the players. We now refine those players for international play. So 100% support behind it. A prime example of that, after this, I'm going to watch the U14s. I don't think any of them are good enough to play the senior team yet. No, but I'm going to go because I get to see what the culture is, what the players are, because those players will be the players of the future. That's why my view about, when the first question came about what my vision was, my vision is about building a great community of football. I want all those 14 players to look up at our senior team and say, I want to be him. I want to go there. I want to be exported into other opportunities. So it is an essential part of it, and we need to tie the entire thing together. And we can do that through the leadership of the technical committee and Mr. Stowe, and obviously the president. But I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. That's why I'm here.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's it. I have a question from online. It says, Mr. Michael Finney, are you a believer of overseas-based players?
Absolutely. But let's be perfectly clear here. I'm a believer first and foremost of all players. And I make it very clear, we were in the meetings yesterday, and I'll be making it very clear to our players. It does not matter where you exist at this moment in time. You could be playing within the Premier League in St. Vincent and the Grenadines club system. You could be living in the United States, Canada, Asia, Germany, UK, you name it. Because at the end of the day, the game is global. So I will be looking very deeply into where players are existing. However, it's very important to know that each of those players has to meet the same standard. So if you're meeting the standard and playing in the domestic league here, and you have the capabilities and you meet the profile, you'll be picked. It's the same with a player who's overseas. And that doesn't mean that just because you're overseas, you are part of this team. Because if you're not willing to buy into the entire vision that we have, then your performances aren't going to help us. So yes, I do believe in them, because let's be honest, the reality is the atmospheres, the environments that players are in, specifically in professional club systems, it is a no-brainer in terms of having them involved with our team. And if we want to be successful, we have to put the best possible team on the pitch to make that happen. But again, I say, they have to meet the standard. They have to be committed. They have to share in the vision, or that is not going to work for us.
Thank you. Any more questions? I have a comment. It's not a question. It says, congratulations to you, Mr. Spring, on the newly appointed head coach. The vision is clear. Thank you very much. Anybody else?
Nothing.
Okay. So if that's it, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming. And then we will see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate you being here. You okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
I said, I asked him who he was when he walked in. He was all dressed. I said, oh, I'm sorry, I haven't met you. Good with it?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Well said.
Good. Oh, yeah. Prezi. Yeah. Prezi, stand up.
Good. We'll start speaking Spanish now. No, no, what we're doing.
The president, you get all that.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, she's putting us to shame for the fitness. We have to start.
Ready? 2,
There you go.
2, 3. 2, 3.
I know.
That's what we did. 2, 3.
I see they have like $15 for the day.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
No, I